This video is all about making new plants. This was kind of the peak time of year for me at my nursery. For 20 some years, I was mainly a propagator. So I would take cuttings this time of year off various plants, stick them in a greenhouse. The very first video that's on this channel is about propagating in a commercial greenhouse with a high-end clock. I think Holly makes an appearance in the very first video on the channel. I think she makes, I think, a brief cameo in that video. But then when I started the channel, I decided I would show all different kinds of ways to take cuttings. And so I built little houses in the back garden at my old house. I built a little tunnel that you could crawl in. I put them in plastic boxes under my deck. All kinds of ways in which, you know, you can make new plants. Well, so that's kind of that, you know, those are cutting propagation. So I can take, this is a Deutzia I just took a cutting off of just a second ago there. The best material, if you'll come in here closer, Steph, and I'll show them. The reason that June and July typically are the best months to do this, a little later this year because we were so cool earlier in the season, is when the plant first leaves out in the spring. This is a deciduous plant, so it loses its leaves in the wintertime. It leaves back out in the spring, and for about a month and a half to 2 months, it has this really super juvenile growth on it right here. This can actually be rooted, but boy, you have to have a really controlled space to do that. I mean, you have to have, when you order cuttings from other countries, you know, we can get, you know, cuttings for annuals and perennials from other countries. This is how they come. These really super tender softwood cuttings, but you have to have a greenhouse that's just perfectly controlled. If I go an hour without water on something that's that tender, it's a goner. The other version of this would be for me to come way in here on this oldest growth where the growth has become woody. You see where it's changed colors and now has a wood color to it. This roots slowly. And so a lot of folks, which offers more time in which things could go wrong, right? I'm sweating like crazy. We have worked hard in the garden today, putting in a bunch of plants into the ground and now trying to get some things rooted for this season. But this old material here, again, it will root. Same as this really super juvenile root material up here. But the absolute best thing to root and the easiest thing to root is this semi-hardwood material. I can get 2 cuttings off of this one easy. Where the stem is still green like this, I can take, let's take this as a cutting right there. So that's 6 leaves. This plant has opposite leaves. You see how they're opposite on each side of the stem right there. So I can take the bottom leaf off here and strip it. Sometimes that'll make a wound and sometimes it won't, but I can put a wound on it like this. That wound is what will callus and eventually roots will come out of that wound. I can dip it in some sort of rooting hormone. I like to use the gels, but any kind of rooting hormone, and then put it in some sort of mist system or some sort of humidity container. Some container that will keep the humidity high enough, because these leaves don't have any water, right? They don't have any roots. So how are these leaves going to stay alive? They have to stay moist, okay? So that's the key. Second, I can get another one off of this one, strip those bottom leaves off, take out that most tender growth up in the top, wound the bottom of it. I can even do it with my thumbnail, just like that. And then I've got 2 cuttings right there. That's the semi-hardwood cuttings. The easiest, really the easiest overall thing to consistently root. But all parts of that plant will root. What I started showing last year or the year before was a different technique of actually bending a stem down into a container, leaving it attached to the plant so that it has water. You know, I don't have to worry about those 4 leaves, how they're getting water, because they're attached to the parent plant. They're laying inside a container, covered in a little bit of soil. You can take a few leaves off if you want to. I don't bother. I have had no problem rooting anything just by laying it in there, covering it lightly in soil, putting a brick on top of it to make sure it stays in place, and then I'll tuck the container up under the plant just a little bit. Several of the plants that we gave away on our open garden weekend were done that way. So that's another way to do it. Okay, so again, if you've got some way to take them independently like this, put them into some sort of tray or some sort of, again, storage container or something like that, and keep them humid. Don't put that thing in direct sun though. That could be problematic, because if you make a little greenhouse and then put it in the sun, it could bake the cuttings. But I like doing this technique here in the home garden, just bending limbs over into a container that's a used container, and then leaving them there for 6 months, and then we literally just cut them away from the parent plant once they're rooted. And I got a plant already in a container. Another way that this gets done is folks will wound a stem on the plant, and then actually they make these little clamshell pieces that go around them, or several different techniques that you can use to actually root a cutting directly on the stem of the plant. That technique is called air layering. So my technique for putting them in a container and just tucking it under the plant is just another form of air layering, really. This Deutzia offers another way. This thing actually suckers, so when it comes up in the spring, it actually ends up with rooted pieces that are like extra out from the plant. Let's see if it still got anything. Steph and I dug up several this year. Okay, there's one right there. You see it? And right here, look how this rooted in. Look, see that right there? So there's a plant right there, and it was rooting in another spot. I'm just doing this exact same thing. This was the mulch laying over top of it, right? Which you could easily do. But if I do this in a container, and then the roots would not have been dried out like this. And then there's another one right here. You see that? I could just dig that up, separate it from the parent plant. Somewhere over here, it's attached to the parent plant, almost certainly. And we can make, so just by picking this thing up and looking up under it, I can also find out I have English ivy under it. At the same time, I'm able to make 2 or 3 free plants pretty quickly from that. Most of the widely available ornamental plants on the market root pretty easily. That's why they're the widely available ornamental plants on the market. Because they're easier to produce in some way. There are things like we have a mountain dove Daphne-phyllum that will not root. And it even takes a specialized graft. And so there are some plants that I don't care, you can lay a limb in a pot, you can do cuttings, you can try to do division, all kinds of things. You're just not going to get it done. But most, again, commercially available plants. Almost all of our perennials in the garden are certainly, we can take cuttings on them. So I could actually take cuttings while this coneflower is up and still has good vigorous growth on it. It becomes less likely the later in the summer it goes, because it just will have less sugars in it, less ability to stay on its own. But I could take cuttings on this coneflower right now, but I actually find those easier as they're going to sleep in the fall. I can pop them out of the ground and divide them, or I could divide them when they come back out of the ground in the spring. So that would be things like hosta and many, many other herbaceous perennials that go to sleep in the winter and come back. Typically I'll do those in the fall. And then things like liriope or mondo grass or carexes or any grass-like plants, we would do most of those in the wintertime, even though some of they could probably be done right now in a nursery setting. It was just something to do in the winter. It's just very easy to divide any of those things, pop them out of the ground, divide them. You can put them in pots for a little while and grow them out before you put them back in the ground, or you can just try to put them back in the ground. You may lose a few dividing them and putting them directly in the ground, but you still have more plants than you started with. But there's, so again, you can look at a plant and attack it in a lot of different ways, really, but this is kind of the peak time as that juvenile growth from the spring is hardening off, but before it gets too hard. I actually just want to get these things rooted before the days are so short and the nighttime temperatures really drop. I don't want to carry it through the winter without roots on it. So that's why this is the sweet spot. Semi-hardwood cuttings, but far enough away from the short days at the end of the year to actually get them rooted. And then I carry them over through the winter. I'll leave those plants attached in the back garden that we did the pots underneath them. If I did these in a greenhouse or in some sort of tray, I'm just going to leave them like that through the winter. I find that the maintenance is much less on it. If I was to root 50 of these Deutzia in a tray and then go in October, because they're all rooted, put them in bigger pots. So maybe I pot them up to 1 gallon containers. Now I got 50 1 gallon containers, which takes up a pretty big space to protect during the winter time. But if I just leave them in that tray, that's all I have to protect. You know, I don't want those little individual cells frozen solid, so you might have to bring them in, you know, once or twice during the winter to keep them from being frozen completely solid during the winter. It's certainly easier to move a tray to do that than it is 50 1 gallon containers. So I'll just wait till the other side of winter, April 10th or so, they'll be potted up into 1 gallon containers, and they'll fill a 1 gallon container. And they did. This is one that we actually dug the pieces up on this year that were given away at the open garden. We had Viburnum nudum that went in the open garden that were from my bend a limb down technique into a container, the air layering technique where you root it directly into a container. So this is the time of year to do this. If you want to learn a lot about propagation, I have an entire playlist on the channel called Propagation, and you can go down that wormhole of and then there's dividing hosta on the channel and dividing other perennials, lots of other videos on the channel for creating new plants. I think it's an important component to gardening and really enjoying gardening, because here's the thing, if I make 2 or 3 extra plants from that Deutzia, when somebody comes to the garden to visit and I give them one of those Deutzia, I'm more likely to get something from them that they've done, okay? And so there's a bit of a, you know, there's a lot of trading that can go on. If you get good at rooting something and you can share it with others, you're likely to have things shared with you as well for your garden. So thank you guys so much for watching.